We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where two friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents. And apparently accidentally wear matching outfits, which you can see if you are watching this on YouTube.
We had a little belated Christmas Zoom today, so I wanted to wear my Christmas sweater. You're more coral. You're more summery. I'm definitely cranberry.
My friend made this.
What?
Yeah, Natalie, who helped with our live stream.
God, she's a gem.
Yeah, she's an incredible artist.
What can't she do?
Not much. There's not much she can't do. There is not much she can't do. I'm Amanda.
I'm Lucy.
And at the top, I'm going to just be real quick with this because we've said what we've said on social media. We will keep saying it. Obviously, there is continued state violence in the state of Minnesota and in Minneapolis. This is part of a pattern of state violence and white supremacy that we have seen here before, and that has affected every corner of the United States since its inception. And we just want to take a moment to remind, especially our white listeners, that if you have been sitting on the fence about getting activated and not knowing where to begin, starting your anti-racism journey is the foundation of resistance. Because Black and brown people in this country, the very, indigenous people that we genocided and then the Black bodies that we stole to build this country have been dealing with this level of resistance, putting their lives on the line, dying constantly, consistently, at the hands of white supremacy for centuries, for generations. And it has been beyond time for us to wake up and learn from them and follow their lead and join that fight. And all that to say, the response to the shooting of Renee Good has been incredible. Her GoFundMe has raised, now it's at about $1.5 million, and we're recording this, not long after she was murdered. And so that tells me multiple things. One, that we do know how to show up. Two, that we're more activated to show up when a victim looks like us. And three, that we have the resources and we are choosing where we are sending them. And that's not to say not to send resources to Renee Good's family, because she absolutely deserves them. But if you think I'm speaking to you, then I am. So I'm asking you to sit with that and think of how you can create sustainable support to our Black and brown neighbors and family who are also consistently experiencing violence, who have had loved ones stolen from them as well, and how we can show up for them, including while they're still alive and with us in our daily lives. So if you need a place to start, we have a lot of resources about anti-racism work on our website. And again, it may seem like that's a canned response to what do we do, but it is the truth. What you do is you get started on your anti-racism journey and you really learn from freedom fighters that have been doing this work long before us to figure out where you can put your energy, where you can put your time, and not to, just react and then burn out. You have to create a sustainable, long-term commitment to resistance, to that anti-racism work, and to that journey. So now I'm going to stop talking about that, but it felt disingenuous to start this episode without at least speaking that piece of it.
Yeah, and we are recording this 2 days after her murder. Mm-hmm. So it's as it should be. It's very fresh on our minds. May it stay fresh, and may we lend that same freshness to everyone who's killed at the hands of the state.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Thanks for putting that out there.
We're going to go in a totally different direction now because we have a very special fan pick from Aspen, who wants to shout out their friends Emily and Jenny, for whom I was the gateway they. I love that. So congratulations to Emily and Jenny for having a gateway they.
Yeah.
Who could bring you
a whole new rhyme.
Gateway they, who can bring you right into our clutches. We are happy to have you, and thank you so much, Aspen, for sponsoring an episode today. They have chosen the topic of Con Cons.
Con Con.
Do you want to explain what that is, Lucy?
It's a conniving convention conference. Something that brings a lot of people with similar interests together and rips them off and takes all their money.
They can. They can indeed do that.
We've or if not take your money, well, still take your money, but also give it to horrible people.
Yep, that definitely happens. Or take your money and then not at all provide the experiences that were promised.
Where's the con?
Where's
Vention?
the Wonka experience?
I kept thinking about that while I was researching.
A lot of re-triggering about the Wonka experience in today's episode. So, Wonka trigger warning if you need it.
Trigger wonking.
Trigger wonking. We're wonking. We're wonking you.
Hey, I'm wonking here.
Walk me once, shame on you. Walk me twice. And our fan pick also requested that we pair and thus shout out a Minnesota winery today. So they recommended the Millner Heritage Winery. And the Millner Heritage, it's right here in Minnesota. They're also a cidery. So if wine is not so much your thing, they also have house-made ciders, and they host really cool game nights. They have books. They have puzzles. Like their little tasting room is really lovely. They host events all the time. Their website is really cute.
I like that they call it Analog January.
Yeah, bring a book, play a board game. I know I also do love Analog January. So definitely check them out. They are located in Kimball, Minnesota, though their business mailing address is in Dassel, which shout out to my Finkenauer in-laws, my Dassel fam. Gotta love Dassel. Heck yeah, Lake Washington. Obsessed. So it's located 7 miles south of Kimball or 9 miles north of Dassel on Minnesota State Highway 15. So you can, that's
can't miss it.
You can't miss it. It's a little far for us here in the Twin Cities, but because I do go out there fairly regularly, I am definitely going to pay them a visit and check them out. They have a lot of really fun wines that you can taste, as well as the option of online ordering. So they have instructions for online ordering. They do have fees for freight, etc. But if you are interested in getting your hands on some of their wines and you're not local, there are options. They have their wines kind of sectioned out by what taste you're looking for. So they have dry wines, they have semi-sweet wines, they have sweet wines, and then they have additional specialties, which include like their Millner Weiss and their Sauternes and some of their ciders and things like that. But something that looked very delicious to me was their wine called Goes Well with Pot Roast. Baby, not much gets more Minnesotan than that. Let me read you what Goes Well with Pot Roast is about. This is a semi-dry red wine. It is made with a blend of cold climate hybrid grape varietals. This wine is serious in flavor, bringing a complexity of fruit flavors while not missing out on those all too important soft tannins. So if you're interested in a delicious red that's quite drinkable, apparently goes well at least, with pot roast, and has a little bit less of that like lip smacking tannic quality, but still has enough of it to balance out some of that semi-sweetness. This is the one that I would for sure be reaching for, not just because the Goes Well with Pot Roast name of a red wine is one of the cutest things I have ever seen. I'm obsessed with it. So check them out. You can head to millnerheritage.com. Millner is Millner, heritage.com, to see how you can get your hands on some of their wines, or maybe make your own pilgrimage to the Dassel area to check out their winery.
Yes, do it.
All right, let's take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors. And of course, if you are an Uncorked member, you don't have to listen to any of those. So go join us on Uncorked if you're not already on there. What are you waiting for? It's a great time to be alive. And Lucy just launched a new program on Uncorked.
We're doing a book club, baby.
She's hosted a book club.
Yes, it's going to be bi-monthly.
Which does not mean twice a month.
Means every other month.
Yeah.
Well, it does mean twice a month.
But not in this context.
I mean, it means both. So I have to specify every other month, every 2 months, we'll be reading a book. I think we're going to just discuss it on the community forum on Uncorked, which is going to make it super easy to, catch up if you're like me and you're going to fall behind.
But yeah, great time to join the space. They're rolling out all these really fun new features that we're trying to incorporate into some new programming that we're putting on our Uncorked subscriber base. So come on down
For a new program.
All right, we'll be right back.
New year, new me, right? Except maybe today the new me overslept and forgot breakfast and immediately needed a break.
Literally me today. I'm texting you at 3:30. Oh, I forgot to eat. Oops.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, IndaCloud is here to help. IndaCloud is your fully legal online cannabis dispensary. That's gummies, exotic flower, premium pre-rolls, and now zero sugar THC sodas, which basically taste like somebody finally invented a beverage that truly understands you.
Obsessed.
All hemp THC, DEA certified, lab tested, shipped discreetly, which is great because I don't want my neighbors knowing my business.
No, you don't necessarily want them knowing your business. You also don't necessarily want to share your amazing bounty from IndaCloud. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know me. I'm an ADHD girly. My brain is going a mile a minute, and I feel like it is never not yelling.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I am a big fan of those zero sugar THC sodas, and you're getting all that calm. I'm quieting my brain a little bit. There's no hangover, no like, oh my God, I texted my ex energy.
No anxiety.
It's really been an amazing way to make, maybe for me, better choices. And I really love that they just have so many different products that are going to match like what kind of experience you're going for. So if you are like me and you just really want to like calm the buzz of your mind, or if you are feeling like, okay, I want a little bit more of a social buzz, then like they have something for you. They also have so many different options, like Lucy mentioned, not only in like the pre-roll or the flower category, but the edibles.
Love the edibles.
Okay, did you get that one that was like the gummy sour rope?
Yes, the
Girl.
rope. It lasted me a long time. I'm here for it.
I ate that bad boy in 2 days.
Oh my God, I have one right next to me. Look.
It's so
It's
good.
next to my computer. I forgot I had this.
The dope rope.
The dope rope.
Yeah, I am obsessed. But, you could get the dope rope that's going to bring you some fun. You can also get calming gummies for like when you look at your to-do list and it has egregiously offended you for how long it is.
It's rude, honestly.
Yeah, it's truly incredible. And we're talking like prices that are very approachable and affordable. They've got $70 ounces because adulthood is already expensive enough. And, I just think that IndaCloud is the best. This is how adults relax without making the next day really awkward. Like, join us.
Yeah, grow up.
Yeah.
If you're 21 or older, visit indacloud.co and use code GALS for 25% off plus free shipping on orders $89 or more. That's indacloud.co, code GALS, 25% off free shipping on orders over $89 and absolutely zero hangover regrets. Enjoy responsibly and shout out to IndaCloud for making dry January actually bearable.
Hear, hear. Lucy and I have been glasses wearers really since like we became friends. I've been wearing glasses since 4th, 5th grade at this point. So if you are a glasses wearer, you know the rigmarole of how expensive it is to get new glasses. And then when you're trying to like save money on glasses, then the styles are so limiting. It's
Yes.
like you want to get the best price on glasses through, your optic provider, but it's like hundreds of dollars to get like the most basic pair of glasses
the ones
ever.
you want. The thing that will be a part of your face for the next however long.
Yes, it's like adding a feature to your face, and your options are so limited because the pricing is so high. The styles feel outdated, and like, don't even get me started on how hard it is to find something that not only you actually like, but like properly fits your face. It's so frustrating, but Warby Parker has been a literal godsend for glasses wearers for many years. We've both been using them for a long time. Lucy, tell us more about why we love them so much.
Honestly, nothing else comes close to Warby Parker on quality, price, selection, their customer service. So you might be nervous to like buy glasses online because, like you mentioned, you got to make sure they look good on your face
And they fit, yeah.
Yeah, so that is why Warby's virtual try-on is a total game changer. You can literally try on glasses from your phone before you buy them. You can see how they're going to look on your face.
Yep.
It's really wild how seamless and how well it actually works. You just point your camera, you show it your face, and then you're seeing yourself in the glasses that you're trying on. It's like a mirror, and you don't have to be at one of their many brick and mortar stores, which are also beautiful. I've got Warby Parker glasses on right now. The quality is incredible. I've been very much into like a tortoise shell with like a pop of color.
Remember when we bought the same Warby Parker sunglasses independently of each other because we both fell in love with those frames so hard?
Yes, and they're so cute. And I think you lost yours in the ocean, and that makes me really sad, but it's okay.
That was the first pair that I bought that you didn't match with me, and then my replacement pair I accidentally matched with you. So this has happened before.
And you know what? It's okay if your Warby Parker glasses, get swept off your face in the ocean because they're so affordable. Their prescription glasses start at $95. So you can actually get quality, stylish frames at a price that doesn't blow your mind as to how anyone can afford to have poor vision. Warby Parker doesn't just offer incredible prescription glasses. They've got contacts. They have online eye exams. Like we said, they've got sunglasses. So it's all in one place on their beautiful website. It makes everything so easy. Of course, there's a quiz. You can take a really nice quiz to just find a pair that fits your face. Maybe the best part about Warby Parker is that for every pair they sell, they also give a pair to someone in need. They've distributed over 20 million pairs of glasses.
That's amazing.
Through their Buy a Pair, Give a Pair program. And Warby Parker is covered by major eye insurance plans. So just yet another way they're making it incredibly easy for you to get some real cute glasses. You just enter your information to see if you're eligible for benefits on frames, contacts, or eye exams. And if you are, they're going to automatically apply it for you.
Warby Parker gives you quality and better looking prescription eyewear at a fraction of the going price. Our listeners get 15% plus free shipping when they buy 2 or more pairs of prescription glasses at warbyparker.com/gals. That's 15% off when you buy 2 pairs of glasses at warbyparker.com/gals. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you.
It's a new year, and maybe you're in that like level up mindset for your business. I know we are.
Yeah.
And it is wild how much the super basic stuff makes the biggest difference. So like, for example, how you talk to customers and keep your team on the same page. A cleaner, more modern setup can make everything feel just smoother and easier, which is why today's episode is sponsored by Quo, spelled Quo, the modern alternative to run your business communications.
Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2 with over 3,000 reviews built for how modern teams work. That's why more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams, rely on Quo to stay connected, professional, and consistently reachable. Quo works wherever you are, which is what I love because so many small businesses aren't in like one brick and mortar establishment, or even if if they are, you have people that are working like across areas, across teams. It works wherever you are, right from an app on your phone or your computer, and it lets you keep your existing number, which is huge. You can add new numbers or teammates in minutes. You can sync your CRM. You can rely on seamless routing and call flows as your business scales, and your entire team can help handle calls and texts from one shared number. So no more missed messages or disconnected conversations. Everyone sees the full thread. The transparency is there. The replies are faster. The customers feel genuinely cared for by your entire team. Quo is not just a phone system. It's a smart system. Quo's AI automatically logs calls, generates summaries, and highlights next steps so nothing gets lost. It can even qualify leads or respond after hours, ensuring your business stays responsive even when you're finally offline and getting that much-deserved break. You shouldn't be working around the clock. And it's so easy. Calls, texts, voicemails, transcripts, and contact details all live in one clean view with full context at your fingertips. Your team communicates faster, stays aligned, and delivers a more personal experience.
Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/gals. That's QUO.com/gals. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers.
What if I told you that tossing and turning all night and waking up sore could be the result of sleeping on the wrong pillow? Sounds too good to be true? Hear me out. Coop Sleep Goods pillows are designed for every type of sleeper. Side, back, stomach, and everything in between. They adjust to how you sleep, keeping you supported and comfortable all night. And right now, new customers get 20% off site-wide. From new parents navigating sleep schedules to wellness-minded sleepers focused on recovery to grandparents exploring new hobbies, Coop helps everyone sleep better and wake up actually feeling refreshed. There's a lot waiting for you tomorrow. Let Coop help you show up feeling rejuvenated and ready to go. Get 20% off your first order and try Coop risk-free with the 100-night sleep better guarantee at coopsleepgoods.com/comedy podcast. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy podcast.
All right, Lucy, what do you have in store for us today?
Well, a lot, but not as much as I could have had because I once again went down a rabbit hole about something I really didn't need to be going down a rabbit hole.
We both came into this being like, we're on kind of a time constraint. This can be a shorter episode. And then I opened the notes doc and there's 10 pages of notes. So nope, didn't do it. Didn't achieve that.
I mean, I started with con, and then I kind of took a left, and then like another left, and then like the road turned. Anyway, just come along with me.
Con along with me.
It is definitely a con.
Okay.
They are very real. Apparently, they are very pervasive, specifically in the academic community.
They sure are.
So I went in looking at conferences first because, like I said, conference, convention, they're both cons. So what I'm talking about today are called predatory conferences or predatory meetings, which according to Wikipedia are defined as meetings set up to appear as legitimate scientific conferences, but which are exploitative as they do not provide proper editorial control over presentations. The topics covered can diverge substantially from what has been advertised, and advertising can include claims of involvement of prominent academics who are, in fact, uninvolved. They are an expansion of the predatory publishing business model, which I'll come back to. That involves the creation of academic publications built around an exploitative business model that generally involves charging publication fees to authors without providing the editorial and publishing services associated with legitimate journals. So they're basically just full of shit. We will take whatever you want to pay us to take, and paying significant amounts. So predatory publishing is also called write-only publishing, WRITE, write-only, or deceptive publishing. It was first written about, as far as I could tell, in 2012 by library scientist Jeffrey Beal.
Okay.
There's a photo of him on the drive.
Is he cute? In like a dorky way?
He's definitely a library scientist.
Oh. Oh my God.
He looks like every tax guy ever.
Yeah, he really does look like a CPA.
Yeah. But he's a library scientist. That said, a guy named Gunther Eisenbach,
Ooh, okay.
noticed this trend back in 2008, and he called these journals black sheep. He basically started seeing them crop up and was like, you're not playing by the normal rules. So, like I said, it's basically shitty journals that you have to pay to be published in.
Okay.
Jeff Beal, the white guy,
The accountant.
he did make a list called Beal's List, and it's Beall. Beal's List, and that is a list of predatory journals. So if you're wondering whether something that you're interested in potentially reaching out to is one of these guys,
That's a resource.
talk to Beal. Consult his list. According to one study, 60% of articles published in predatory journals receive no citations over the 5-year period following publication,
Wow.
which means nobody is consulting or at least citing these journals as accurate and
Or
important and valuable to their own papers for the first 5 years after they're published. So it's just a bunch of garbage. It's just junk. It's spam. Okay, so that's the publishing, and that's sort of where these conferences stemmed from. So say you are a researcher in your scientific field, and the example in this article from Nature, which, by the way, is its own scientific journal, their example had this person be a medical researcher in eye health. So you're a medical researcher in eye health. You've been invited to present at a conference in London. Whoa, London. And I'm presenting. Big deal. So it is a big deal. People pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to attend these conferences, and academic conferences are one of the main routes for career development in research. So the best events, because they're very real. They've been around for a very long time. The good ones are very, very good. And the best of them have carefully curated content that has been peer reviewed by the program committees. Talks and panels are professionally chaired, and they include enough time for discussion after said talks and panels. And there's plenty of opportunity for the all-important networking. And they also they have really good food. So when you pay $2,000 to go to one of these big conferences, like you get a lot out of it. You get what you get what you pay for. You're supposed to
anyway. Yeah.
So again, those are the good ones. Predatory conferences, by contrast, exist to extract money from researchers with little or nothing in the way of academic return. Often they come about because there are insufficient slots for presenters at well-established conferences. So maybe that same weekend, also in London, there is a good conference, and you want to go to that, but they're all full. And then you see an ad for, we're adding another day. There's some kind of conference piggybacking off of that legit conference.
Oh, they'll literally use like that outside marketing from the other
similar
conference.
Branding, similar language. So it's
sketchy.
maybe not enough to be like sued.
Right.
Like maybe they're not like, we are that conference, but it's very deceiving. They make you think that they
are affiliated,
at
but
least
they're
somehow affiliated. So they take advantage of that extra interest and that overflow. And also, they exploit the need for early career researchers to attend international conferences. There are requirements for researchers in order to advance, in order to get a promotion, or even for students to earn their degree, to attend or present at a conference or get something published. So there's a lot of incentive on that end. It's a requirement. So there are companies now that put on these bogus conferences just to sap money from attendees and prospective presenters.
That's fucked up.
So back to this Nature article, they sent a reporter to several of these kinds of conferences in London and reported, quote, in some cases, both the academic content and the level of organization failed to meet the standards that paying delegates would expect. In other cases, conferences were better organized, but still featured presentations for which there had been little or no peer review. So it was just random fucking people who paid a certain amount to get on stage and talk for an hour.
Yeah. I read an article about this when that was the angle I was going to go with, but then I pivoted because I wanted it to be more fun. One guy went to a conference. It might have been. It was in the UK.
It sounded really fucking lame.
No, it didn't. It just. I was just like, I can't connect with this. It's too much medical.
And I really can.
I know.
So I'm glad we pivoted.
Exactly. But he was talking about how he didn't even bring his press credentials. He just like found out this was happening, and there was one near him in the UK. So he was like, I'm just going to go and check it out. There was one like distracted person at check-in. He showed them their business card as a press credential, and they waved him right in. And then
of course,
like half the panel discussions didn't even happen because those people they said were going to be on the panel weren't even there. And then their keynote speaker, who like was legitimate, they had him listed as speaking twice, but he spoke once for like an hour and then was very clear that like, okay, well, thank you. I'm leaving. He's like from Japan and he left to catch a plane. And then people showed up for his second round and he just wasn't there because none of the organizers had like arranged for his travel properly to even fulfill what they said was on the docket. Mm-hmm. Same goes for most of the other people who came to present that weren't there. Yeah. It's like they never even like arranged transportation for me to get here. Like,
we will address all of the aspects of that particular example.
Bro.
It happens all the fucking time.
It really does.
Often, those who are duped by such events are early career researchers whose first language is not English. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. They prey on a lot of students from Africa was one example. Mm-hmm. Africa and like quite a few Asian countries, but I mean, these poor kids, they're just trying to fucking graduate with their degree or something.
Fulfill the requirements of their advanced education. And people are out here fucking them over.
And then they're dealing with visas. Mm-hmm. Like, it could get really messy.
And cost you a fuck ton of money. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A 2022 report found that, quote, nearly a quarter of the respondents from 112 countries and all across disciplines and career stages indicated that they had either published in a predatory journal, participated in a predatory conference, or didn't know whether they had done those things or not. So the majority of those who did so unknowingly cited a lack of awareness of predatory practices. They just didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, like you said, if they're duping branding from credible places, which I'm sure they are, it could be easy, especially if English is not your first language and these dupes show up in English, to not quite know.
And just slapping the names of like universities and institutions on their shit if there does nothing to do with it, potentially. Or maybe they do. Well, we'll get to it. Maybe they do have, they are allowed to slap someone's logo on it, and that's that institution or that university's fucking failure that this is happening. Whereas the majority of those who did so knowingly cited the need to advance their careers. So it was literally, I had to.
Yeah, I had to be published. This was the only way I could do it.
Yeah.
I had to attend.
I am an average grad student. There is no way that to fill a requirement, I could write a paper that merits publishing in a reputable scientific journal to graduate. Like,
that does seem like a pretty high bar to set.
It's crazy high. And that's not the case for all of these, but it is for quite a few of them.
Yeah, and it's like, it's one thing to have to present a thesis, like to a panel or board at your university.
At your school.
And another to have to go out and be published in a reputable source outside of your institution. Those are two completely different challenges.
Yeah, very. Sometimes people submit what are called sting papers to test whether a journal is full of shit or not. A paper...
They'll just like write about bullshit?
Yeah. A paper was submitted in 2013 by a tech entrepreneur from India named Naveen Kabra to the International Conference on Recent Innovations in Engineering, Science, and Technology. How broad. So it costs Naveen about 6,000 rupees to submit each paper. He submitted 2 of them. 6,000 rupees at least at the time was about $100. Not nothing. So it cost him 6,000 rupees, but he bargained them down to about half of that, quote, by haggling with them in the same way we haggle with vegetable vendors.
Wow.
That's how serious these guys are.
Yeah.
It said he auto-generated, which I'm just going to say it. He AI'd this paper. It doesn't say anything. So I'm going to read you the abstract.
Oh, no.
Determining the box office performance of a movie remains one of the most challenging grand problems posed by Hilbert. Hilbert, I don't know what that was. It has not only theoretical implications, but the commercial value of a solution would also be tremendous. In this paper, we show that this problem can be solved to a high degree of accuracy through the use of cloud computing techniques and the use of social media networks. We also provide a hybrid approach which works the best.
Oh, that's it?
That's the abstract.
Incredible.
So they're talking about movies and box office success, I guess. A significant amount of this paper includes passages from the film My Cousin Vinny.
No way.
Including this one, which, by the way, was one of my AOL away messages for a really long time.
You really did love that movie.
I loved that. I loved putting obscure quotes from like 80s, 90s movies as my away messages.
Yeah, you're not like other
Nobody
girls.
understood. I'm not like other girls.
You're not. You're just not.
Nobody understood.
Nobody
Anyone understood
understands.
them, but so this was one of mine. I remember the font that I had this in. So this is in this paper. Imagine you're a deer. You're prancing along. You get thirsty. You spot a little brook. You put your little deer lips down to the cool, clear water. Bam! A fucking bullet rips off part of your head. Your brains are laying on the ground in little bloody pieces. Now I ask ya, would you give a fuck what kind of pants the son of a bitch who shot you was wearing?
That's in the paper?
He put that in the paper?
Oh my God. Good Lord. Incredible.
And then at the end, he said he put something in that was like, I know no one's reading this.
Right.
My wife's name is blah, blah, blah. And I included her website to blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. It was just, he openly says in the paper, like, this is a joke, right? It was published.
Of course.
It was published.
There's nobody even bothered to read it.
No.
There's no peer review.
There's no peer review. There's no, like, editing. And, like, the way that this stuff comes up, okay, this is the rabbit hole I'm telling you I went down. I was like, I don't fully understand how this came about. I understand the publishing part because that used to be literal journals, books.
Yeah. And
for which there was a set a cost of that book.
Yeah.
And therefore a price of that book. But you're also adding in the value of the scientific knowledge and the sharing of this data and this knowledge and these, analyses is crucial to science.
Scientific
we have
advancement.
to share ideas.
And then the people whose ideas that are legitimate, that do get published, are also, they have opportunities for career advancement and like moving higher up in their field to bring about the ideas that they are publishing. So like it has a domino effect.
That was the ideal. That was the point. But then you get to the age where everything is digitized.
Yeah, enter the internet.
So then you don't have a cost. So how do you determine the value without blowing up the cost so much? The average 1-year subscription to scientific journals as of, I think it was 2012, the most expensive one in like science is a chemistry journal, $4,200 a year.
Damn. That's almost as much as
that's just one.
My property taxes.
Yeah. So who is setting the price for these things is the question. So OA publishing is open access. So that's like where you get like your JSTOR or your Sage, that kind of stuff. Although Sage popped up on one of these, they published one of these bogus articles too. Anyway, the rabbit hole, I still don't fully understand it. That's when I realized we were supposed to hop on in like 15 minutes. And I was like, I can't do that. Anyway, here are some predatory conference red flags. So if you are ever invited to one or one is advertised at you, watch for some of these things. Does the conference take place in a popular tourist destination, such as London? Are the conference materials focused on tourism rather than the individual's field? Do they have like flashy photos of, look, everything else you can do while you're in Orlando? The title of the conference uses words such as global or international, like really high level, too good to be true kind of things.
Yeah, but it's also frustrating because this is like common convention naming conventions.
Well, I think when you stack all these things up, and I will give us an example at the end. If the invitation comes from a public email account, if it's like someone at Gmail.
Yeah, us.
Yeah.
Y'all.
We're so legit. We have a Gmail. It's fine. We're not getting rid of it now.
No.
9 years.
No, it's not going anywhere.
If the conference advertises commercial sponsorships brought to you by Pepsi. If the invitation encourages the recipient to invite their colleagues to sign up. If the conference topic doesn't match the individual's area of expertise or is super duper vague and uses broad terms such as to promote scientific innovation. If the conference takes place solely online. If the conference dates change frequently. If the method of payment is different than a normal credit card payment.
Pay them in iTunes gift cards.
Bank transfer. If there is a clause that in case of cancellation, there is no refund or refund in the form of credit for another conference. Or if the conference organizer provides false information about affiliation with a major publication. If you go to their website, are there names on an advisory board? Are these names accurate? Do you recognize any of them? Do you know that these people do work in this field? Is the same conference offered numerous times a year in a variety of different cities? It's just like a traveling thing.
Yeah.
Are there spelling and grammatical errors on the website or awkward language? Was the invitation filled with flattery? Are you referred to as a prominent, eminent, or world-class scholar?
Oh.
They just try to butter you up. Is there a peer review process for submitted papers and presentations? Is this peer review process clearly outlined and explained on the website? Do they promise a 24-hour turnaround in their approval process?
Wow.
Which is so not legit. You should probably catch that one.
Well, committing to a 24-hour turnaround is how a bogus paper full of my cousin Vinny quotes
Exactly.
type situation can happen. Anything could it's clear that they don't have the capacity to actually review participants like panel members, like invitees. So they're just clicking, sure, here's what you pay. Yeah. It could be anybody. We could go do one of these.
They accept your $600 and you're approved.
Yep, and you're in.
Also, if you notice that presenters pay more than attendees, bit of a red flag. So several things need to happen in order to stop this practice. Number one, people need to know that it happens because obviously a lot of the people who responded to that survey didn't even know that that was a thing. Supervisors and established researchers need to tell their early career colleagues that it's happening and also which conferences are genuinely useful to their field. Research communities need to regularly publicize good practices and also the necessity of thorough peer review. Peer review is the whole fucking point and cornerstone of like academic journals and this kind of literature. If we don't have peer review,
then it's not an academic journal, like an academic publication, basically.
If I can't scuba, what's this all been about?
Precisely.
And also consumer protection authorities need to be more aware of them because this is a bad business practice. Like these companies shouldn't be allowed to operate. It's a big scam.
Yeah.
But since very few people know about it, consumer protection people don't know about it.
Well, and it kind of sucks too because these types of structures do seem to like, and again, I don't know if these types of conferences or whatever that they're advertising are like open to public attendance and like public ticket purchase for people who aren't presenting, or if this is like a closed convention and it's all presenters presenting to each other, because I know both exist.
All of the ones that I saw were like, there are presenters and there are attendees.
Okay.
And anyone can be an attendee.
So sometimes, and I mean, even in conventions that we have participated in, like even CrimeCon, the cost for presenters is incredibly high with no promise of any kind of refund unless you can like sell a certain amount of tickets with your ticket code. And so you're reserving, you know, airline, airfare, hotel fare, all of these things, like packing your merch, prepping your booth, all that stuff with no guarantee of any reimbursement. And then the reimbursement that is guaranteed is basically, if you sell this many tickets, it'll cover your hotel. If you sell this many tickets, we can reimburse you up to this amount for your flight. So it's like it takes a lot out of presenters to go do that. And then attendees also pay a lot of money, but it's not quite the same. It's not like the thousands and thousands of dollars that some presenters can make. And then those attendees don't know that their favorite presenters or creators are not actually
losing money by being there.
Yeah, not actually being financially compensated for being there. And then these conventions get really huge and they're owned by predatory people, like who also run Fox News. And so it's just, you know, conventions are really cool and smaller ones are really amazing that are actually like community focused and about connecting people. And we love participating in them. But yeah, you do have to be careful about, you know, where you're spending your money and the sunk cost of just your time and energy preparing for a long weekend like that.
Yeah.
A lot of prep goes into running those booths day in and fucking day out and doing extra programming and shows and et cetera. Like, and we're not getting paid for it.
I do love doing it. It's
we stopped doing it.
The big ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big commitment, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But the last thing that needs to happen, the research community needs to diminish incentives for these kinds of conferences to fucking exist in the first place. Don't make that a mandatory thing to get public. Like, can we use our imagination, get a little bit more creative, and don't put students between a rock and a hard place.
Making it mandatory to get published. And even if you are an incredible student, there are cost barriers to publishing. And so these opportunities are presenting themselves to fulfill that requirement at a fraction of the cost just to get their fucking degree. Not even necessarily to make some massive advancement in their field. And those barriers cause problems and open up opportunities for exploitative practices, both within those barriers and outside of them. It's fucking annoying.
And at the end of the day, it just perpetuates the inequity that there is in so many fields, but as what we're talking about today,
it's in a field
in
of
academia.
Science and academia, so much of this is about medical research, biomedical research, like things that, I mean, obviously the sciences impact our day-to-day lives, period. But like, there's a bigger picture at stake here.
Yeah.
For these things to be legitimate as well as being accessible.
It seeps out into affecting a lot more than just being published in a scientific journal. So I have a Reddit story because, I know you like those. I'm a Reddit girl now.
I'm obsessed with that.
So this is answering the OP's question. Has anyone actually been to a predatory conference? And this is from r/askacademia. And Egget Miskin replied, nailed it. I have a friend who willingly participated in one with a colleague. Their university introduced a yearly conference attendance criterion out of nowhere, and they were given until the end of the year, which at that point was 6 to 7 months, to meet the criterion or risk having their contract not be renewed.
Great.
My friend had the idea of attending a predatory conference because all proper congresses, or I guess conferences, close abstract submission almost a year before the conference.
Yeah, they just wanted to fulfill their requirement. They knew that it was bullshit, but that it wouldn't cost them a ton of money and it would just check that box. So they did it. I don't blame them.
All the legit ones are already full.
They're full.
They were able to submit 2 abstracts, one for each of them, and get a, quote, instant acceptance as a long-form oral presentation 3 weeks before the conference.
Incredible.
It was originally announced that the conference would be held in a smaller city in our country at the city's one and only conference center.
Perfect.
However, 1 week before the conference, they emailed all speakers, presumably, saying that due to logistical issues, they had to move the conference online. After that, they received another email which basically said something like, when it is your time to present, join the online meeting via the link, and when your presentation is over, just leave the meeting.
So you're not even participating or observing other people's presentations. You're just on for yours and then you just leave? Is the requirement at least?
That's what these people did. The email ends with your certificate of attendance as well as your certificates for your presentations will be sent to you within an hour.
Wow.
And that exact thing actually really happened. Their presentations were back to back from 11:30 to 11:50. They both joined at 11:20 and left as soon as their presentations were over. There were around 20 other people in the meeting with their webcams on, but no one asked a question. All of their certificates were sent by email in around 15 minutes. They both were able to use their certificates for the criterion because on paper, every single thing about the conference was legit. But they knew that it was bullshit. And they didn't. They just did a 10-minute talk.
Wow.
So from that same Reddit thread, I found a website of a scam conference.
Okay.
And so I took some screenshots. So I want to show you some examples of the red flags that we talked about.
Okay.
This conference is called GAMIM, GAMIM 2025, hosted by a company called Axiom. I looked at the Axiom website and it's got a lot of vague language. So GAMIM is the global annual meet for immunology and microbiology. And this was supposed to be from August 21st to 23rd. So this is on their homepage.
This
is like the main message. GAMIM 2025 is the premier and dynamic global conference for both academia and industry sectors. Attracts attendees from around the world to showcase the latest industry advancements and emerging technologies. Plenary, keynote, and invited sessions with inspiring talks by top scholars and industry leaders gives insights into how technology is transforming our industry and reshaping the world. The main goal of the conference is to introduce you to cutting-edge technologies, the greatest developments and appliances by internationally respected researchers, and provide the opportunity for participants to share their ideas, experience, and research from around the world. We encourage you to submit abstract, actively participate, share your expertise, and learn from the wealth of knowledge that surrounds you. Your presence at GAMIM 2025 is not just a testament to your commitment to excellence. It is a catalyst for the exchange of ideas that will shape the future of novel developments in immunology and microbiology.
Beautiful Mount Rose, Minnesota.
Okay, but I looked at several other conferences also from Axiom. It's the same format with the same wording, but with just those things switched out. So
no way.
Immunology and microbiology, or condensed matter physics, or pharmacy and pharmaceutics, or biomedical engineering.
Or
there were like 12 of them.
Incredible.
On behalf of the organizing committee, this is the end. On behalf of the organizing committee, we cordially invite all of you to participate in GAMIM 2025 and experience our hospitality. Sincerely, organizing committee.
Okay.
On behalf of the organizing committee, sincerely, organizing committee.
Incredible.
So again, exact word for word.
Yep.
So just look at these pictures. We have I scrolled down to the organizing committee page. They did have one.
Yep.
It is a bunch of names.
Yep.
And the universities where these people presumably teach at, they are not links. They do not say what this person's title is, what this person teaches, if they're on the immunology or microbiology side of things.
Wow.
So, bit of a red flag. The conference program page has a little graphic that says coming soon. And then the venue and location, the hotel address is listed as Porto, Portugal. Note, the exact location and conference will be notified soon.
It's just a city. It's not a specific place.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be August of 2025. It said in the Reddit thread that this conference never happened. And then I do have a screen grab of, they have upcoming conferences and completed conferences. This one was listed under completed, even though it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was looking through all the names of the places. Remember how I said they're all like very touristy?
Yep.
Well, we have Portugal, Porto, and also Lisbon. There was one from Paris. There was a bunch in Amsterdam. There were a bunch in, I don't remember where else, but they were all like very touristy.
Mm-hmm.
London. They're all in London. But yeah, so I did find a real bullshit conference page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be careful. Definitely check up on whether this is a legitimate thing. Talk to people who have been there before.
Yep. Reddit could be a good resource.
Check Beal's list about the journals and stay vigilant. And also, if you are maybe a professor who has this currently as a requirement, maybe rethink.
Yeah.
Maybe rethink that. And really, if it's a conference thing, at least help your students find.
Yeah. If you're going to make that a requirement, then students need the full support of faculty and staff to get there and be included in those legitimized spaces.
Yeah. And pay for them. They shouldn't have to pay for that out of pocket.
Yes, they're paying for enough.
They're paying for enough.
Come on.
So yeah, that's a little bit of con.
Well,
from me.
You'll be pleased to know that a lot of what's going down with these predatory conferences is not that different from the type of conference I'm about to talk to you about. So,
okay.
Let's take another quick break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll dive in.
Can't wait.
This episode of Wine and Crime is brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies.
Try it at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Confronting high credit card debt can feel scary. But the good news is, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, financial relief options are now available. National Debt Relief is currently offering debt relief designed to reduce what you owe and put you on the fast track to becoming debt-free. If you qualify for debt relief, you may be able to pay back less than what you owe and save thousands of dollars. Just visit nationaldebtrelief.com. Imagine only paying one low monthly program payment you can afford and saving money as you become debt-free. National Debt Relief has already helped bring debt relief to over 550,000 U.S. consumers, earning thousands of five-star reviews and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. You're stronger than your credit card debt. Let today be the day you start turning things around. Take the first step and visit nationaldebtrelief.com to see what debt relief you may qualify for. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
I'm going to talk about a different kind of con.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Once Upon a Con.
Is that a real con?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Which was marketed as the nation's first fantasy book convention, a 4-day immersive experience at the Gaylord Hotel and Convention Center in Maryland over like the weekend of August, like 17th through 20th in 2025. It was supposed to be a haven for fans of authors like Rebecca Yarros and Sarah J. Maas, like names that we've seen, especially in like the romantasy genre.
I heard about this.
I'm pretty sure in some of the like ads we do for Galatea, these are common authors.
No, I mean, I heard about this.
Well,
con.
you may have.
Okay.
But I think most likely what you heard more about was the viral Million Lives book convention, which this was apparently supposed to be kind of a response to that. This Once Upon a Con turned out to be, like I said, more of a Wonka experience, but the organizers were claiming that they sold up to 6,000 tickets. Some of the creators or the presenters there, or like vendors there, that I found so much of this on TikTok rabbit holes and only like a couple like articles and blogs about it. So I can't find fucking pictures from in there. I watched so many videos. I watched a 45-minute recap video on YouTube, and like the only photos that were included were mostly screenshots of like people part of the discourse around this convention. I read a blog from a vendor, and I include some of their experience, but like I can't show you pictures fully of what happened in there, because it's like, I think a lot of them are really scrubbed, because this convention is also trying to do like a rebrand under new leadership for 2026.
Oh, dang.
And this just happened in 2025. So I have a feeling that there might have been a bit of a crackdown. This is me speculating wildly, but it felt very odd to me that like after the stuff with the Million Lives book convention, which if you go to the drive, there should be a couple screenshots of like a barren ballroom with just a couple of tables. People were like dressed up in gowns and stuff. And then they talked about how like the DJ was just like a JBL Bluetooth speaker that someone had put on the concrete floor in the middle of the room.
No.
There was like no food or beverage, like barely any staff. Like it was awful. No decorations, nothing.
Okay, so we're talking about
something different from that.
Okay.
But different, but the same.
Okay.
So there's a couple screenshots in my drive that says Baltimore Book Festival disaster, a Million Lives recap. That's a picture of the ballroom and like a couple of attendees that are showing up to the quote unquote ball, and how it's just like empty. And then there's some like sad cafeteria tables on one side.
It's a gym. It looks like a roller rink.
That's not Once Upon a Con.
Okay. So Million Lives happened first?
Yes. And Once Upon a Con was reaching out to authors and potential vendors being like, if you were part of this disaster, or if you heard about this disaster, like we're doing it right. You should be part of our convention.
Oh my God.
And to their credit, they had set it up with like at a Gaylord hotel, which we've done Gaylord Opryland. We did a crime con there. The facilities,
they're legit.
The facilities are gorgeous. They have tons of ballrooms. They have a lot of space to really host something pretty magnificent. So when you see that name attached, it's like, okay, they must be legit if they're able to like book at the Gaylord. And for them saying, oh, we've got like 6,000 attendees, then that would make a lot of sense. There is, however, another screenshot in the drive that is from a TikTok, like one TikTok that I could find that was allegedly from inside of the event. And I want to believe that this person is being legitimate because they're a cosplay creator and there was a large cosplay element to this event, and the cosplay community got pretty fucked over by this event. But the caption says, or like the overlay says, when the Fantasy Con sells 6,000 tickets. And then I took a screenshot of their video where they're in the Opryland and they're like, you know, showing some of the signage, and they're showing that like they're there for that weekend, but they pan around and there's like nobody there.
Nobody there.
And I believe this because yes, there were a lot of attendees on like the first day, but the place very quickly emptied out, and I will tell you why. So even before the convention, the event partner that they Once Upon a Con organizers were working with, who were primarily, I think, like two women, this company that they partnered with called Second Star Events, they're legit. They've done a bunch of stuff. In fact, a lot of people bought tickets kind of up front because they were like, oh, this is co-signed by Second Star. They're collaborating with them. I've been to Second Star events. Cool, I'm in. But they ended up withdrawing and pretty publicly citing an inability to align with leadership on integrity, transparency, and respect, followed by allegations of financial mismanagement. But the show must go on, right? So the scrappy team of organizers went forward despite a clear lack of understanding of what an event of this magnitude would actually require.
Also, those specific, like, well, we couldn't align on these. That's very, like, corporate talk for, like,
They were a
dealing
mess.
with some bitches.
They were a mess. They don't know what they're doing. And they're
mean.
well, and also like they are promising the world and collecting people's money, and there's no way we're going to be able to pull this off. And we're not going to be affiliated with all those pissed off people if they refuse to listen to us and collaborate with us, and they can move forward on their own and take the heat.
That's crazy.
And that is precisely what they did.
Ooh.
As the event unfolded, attendees and staff quickly realized they were not in a fantasy world, which is kind of hard in the Gaylord hotels. Like,
I know.
that's kind of their whole vibe. Like the one we were in Nashville had a
Disney
moat
World.
with
with
gondolas.
a gondola. Yeah.
It was an indoor like
Waterfalls
conservatory
everywhere.
forest. It was nuts. So it's like a lot is already there built in. You don't even really have to bring in that much decor if you're utilizing the right spaces. Like what are y'all doing?
Well, this whole room of like that white, what's that called? Not a pergola.
Oh, the like gazebos?
Yes. It just it looks nice.
That's beautiful.
Is that their stuff or is that just the hotel?
No, that's built into the hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is all
they
stuff
didn't need
that's-
anything else. Just show up. Well, I say that like
I
it's
mean,
easy.
yeah, but it's like you could have made something with so much there as the foundation of your space. So as the event unfolded, like I said, attendees and staff, we'll get to it, quickly realized that they were not in a fantasy world, but they were in a logistical nightmare that many attendees have since dubbed Fire Festival, or I saw Fairy Fire Festival 2.0, because it's like this whole romantasy thing. I was like, oh God, that's crazy. Okay. The most immediate failure involved the very people needed to run the show. So like the organizers needed a lot of staff.
Yeah.
The con itself was originally supposed to take place in Pennsylvania, but they moved last minute to Baltimore, which people had already bought tickets to Pennsylvania. They moved likely because of venue and staffing issues. And then this disrupted a lot of people's travel plans who had seen it initially advertised for being in Pennsylvania and it wanted to get on it.
How far in advance did they move it?
I didn't see a solid answer to that question.
Okay. But yeah, a lot of people buy their flights 8 months in advance.
I would say 30 days or less.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Several attendees who sought refunds after the venue was moved from Pennsylvania to Maryland reported they had yet to receive their money from a vendor. Quote, first of the bigger vendor-related red flags was that, okay, so this is after they got there. They got to the place in Maryland. Some people were able to accommodate the change, and this is what the vendor said. Vendor-related red flags was that there was no formal check-in system for vendors or anyone.
Oh my God.
No formal check-in system in place when we arrived for badge pickup. The ID verification began and ended with, just show us your emails so we know you're legit. They had no list of vendor or author names, no information on how many badges we were all supposed to get, because people can also bring guests. So I watched another testimonial from someone who came for free, but as a guest of an author. And she was like, no one knew who we were. No one could find us on any list. No one could give us our badges. We went to the front desk of the hotel to try and figure it out. And they were like, we don't know. And then other testimonials of people who had the same issues. And then by like day 2, were like, we're leaving, and then had to go to the hotel because they couldn't find a single organizer to talk about getting refunded for the 1 or 2 nights of their hotel room that they didn't end up using. And we'll get to the hotel costs. So she goes on to say they had no list of vendor, author names, no info on how many badges we were to get, and all additional needs were done via honor system, which we'll get to. It would have been incredibly easy for non-vendors to grift a vendor badge and cause problems. Absolutely true. If there isn't enough security at check-in, and that can really be predatory against the vendors. Someone could take your spot. For those who could accommodate the change, they arrived to essentially like an empty hotel, which an empty hotel at a Gaylord is not the same as like walking into a Ramada Inn or whatever, but empty in terms of like there's some signage, but like where's the staff? Where is everybody who's telling us where to go? These spaces are massive. It's just like really confusing and chaotic. Panel members, judges for like, there's a huge cosplay element to this that was advertised. So there were like professional cosplayers who were there to be judges for certain contests and also like panel judges or like moderators.
People spend so much money on that kind of stuff sometimes, like,
Girl, we'll get to it.
that's an investment alone.
It's a huge investment. But these like invited kind of VIP, not just attendees, but like presenters were promised hotel rooms as compensation for their contributions to this.
I should hope so.
And then upon arrival, many found no rooms had been booked or paid for them. Some of them had, but many did not. Some staff members waited over 6 hours in the lobby before being forced to pay out of their own pocket for their rooms if they wanted to stay.
Oh my God.
And these Gaylord hotels are not cheap. These rates were as high as $400 to $500 a night, especially because they were hosting what was supposed to be a big convention. So it's at like, that's the rate for the cheapest room that you could get per night.
Per night.
This led to a massive convention. Staff and presenter walkout because, again, staff had also been told, like, if you come help run shit, we'll pay for all of your accommodations to be here, and then you get, like, free access to the convention. And then the staff are showing up to work the convention, and they have no room, and nobody else is, like, there who's in charge to explain what's going on, so they left.
I would.
And so with so much staff and also presenters and like vendors can't like walking out, this triggered a domino effect of cancellations. But also it was very clear that like some things that were canceled seemed like they were never going to even happen in the first place. So,
oh my God.
One of those things was the cosplay craftsmanship competition. And this was like a big centerpiece element of the con because it was supposed to be like this big space where fantasy and romantasy readers who maybe don't engage in cosplay but are like fans of cosplayers could then connect and hear from their favorite like famous cosplayers who then have like really viral cosplay from these books that some of the authors of those books would also be there to present on. Like, it's a really cool concept.
Beautiful full circle moment.
But they're showing up and they're going, wait, I don't even have a fucking room. And I like traveled all this way to get here. I'm fucking leaving. Or some of them had to find accommodations at other hotels because this one was too expensive. And it was supposed to be like included in the cost of their ticket. And it's not.
God, I'd be so
Or in the cost of their attendance. And those vendors don't want to just not go. Some of them drove for like hundreds of miles with all of that. Like some of these are self-published, like small indie authors that have now trekked to be a vendor there. And they show up, they have none of the accommodations that they were promised, but they can't just leave with nothing. So they get a cheaper hotel elsewhere and then show up and set up all their shit every day to try and sell their books at the convention. Kind of like what we did on Podcast Row.
Yeah, you'd have to.
But they're not on premises.
Oh my God.
Lodging on premises. I know. So the cosplay craftsmanship competition, which was the centerpiece of the convention, was canceled entirely. And there are conflicting reports on whether this was canceled like day of, but I saw other things that said it was canceled before pre-judging, which I think does happen day of. So basically how this will work is you design your costume, you build it, you create it, you make it, you wear it to the convention as an attendee, or you bring it to the convention as an attendee. Then there is a pre-judging phase before the official competition where you're essentially picking like the cream of the crop among the cosplay costumes and then eliminating people who just kind of like showed up and, you know, maybe didn't do something as elaborate or maybe did the bare minimum to make sure that the competition is like legitimate.
You can tell the people who were there for that competition.
Yep. And I don't think this happens in advance. I think it happens day of as part of the event. So people were already at the event who had already spent all that money, all that time, all that labor making those costumes. And before they could even present their costumes for the pre-judging portion of the event was canceled.
Oh my God.
And this costs, like, again, these communities sink hours of labor, thousands of dollars into crafting these costumes for contests.
I'm thinking of our friend Chris Bratton.
Yeah. Does a ton.
That red, what is it? Fireboy?
Yeah, Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's badass.
Some kind of boy. Mm-hmm. His costume looked great.
I know. So it is unclear, as it appears that it was never stated, what the prize would have been for the winner of this competition.
Oh, God.
But many other cons will provide cash prizes, free passes for like VIP experiences at the con, or like meet and greets with some of their favorite authors, like awards, cosplay packages, like gift cards from suppliers and sponsors of, you know, like cosplay creation and other cosplay events. So like folks do get really into it, and the competition can get super fierce. They spend time, money, and labor to prepare for all of this before the convention. So to find out before prejudging even happens at the convention, and obviously they're showing up with the risk that they won't get picked, but some of these people who have really sunk a ton of time and energy and money, like, and have done other competitions before, they're gonna get picked. And then it just got canceled like day of. So they didn't even get to go before the panel of judges to get into the contest. And
I would be so disappointed.
I'd be so pissed. They had worked so hard on their pieces and were just stopped cold before even entry-level submission for prejudging. And a lot of that was because so many people who were supposed to be judges on those panels were promised free lodging included or as compensation for their participation in the event, and then showed up and it was like, hold on, none of my lodging is here. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So there was a VIP banquet scheduled for the highest paying attendees, as well as a tea party for affiliates and presenters with just other presenters. So kind of like those VIP, there's like a VIP mixer. So the banquet was like people who paid enough could have access to this banquet where they'd be with a lot of their favorite authors, cosplayers, creators. But then the tea party was like only for the cosplayers, creators, like featured authors. Like that was a smaller, more intimate event for them to network. Both were canceled. Despite these exclusive events being core selling points in recruiting presenters and speakers and authors and cosplayers, et cetera, along with their travel and lodging expenses, but then also for the VIP tickets that people paid top dollar for. And again, interestingly, and I have to believe this is because a lot of stuff's been scrubbed off of the internet, but I couldn't find a solid answer to how much people paid for a VIP ticket. But between some online comments on ticket costs and also the cost to resell, like what they were reselling, some people were buying them and then trying to sell them off. Prices were ranging from $200, which sounds right to me, between like $200 and $300. But then some people were claiming that they saw tickets for resale for nearly $700.
Oh, God.
To get all these VIP
people are going to take
things.
advantage of
100%. But like, again, that's not cheap. Some people save up to spend a ton of money to get access to their favorite creators, and then to just have that stuff be canceled unceremoniously is fucked up. The tea party for presenters and affiliates, they weren't told that it was canceled. So they kind of canceled it by way of they just never did it.
Oh my God.
Like I said, it was meant to be a curated social gathering in one of like the ballroom spaces for the presenters and creators with like food, drinks, decor, like all the things a tea party mixer would require. But the sources report it was a total failure. When attendees arrived, they found no food, no drinks, no decorations, resulting in people being turned away from an empty room.
Oh my God.
So yeah, the event was effectively canceled, but no one knew it was canceled until they showed up to an empty room.
Jesus Christ.
Thanks,
all
guys.
ready to go. Hungry.
Ready for the tea party,
Excited.
ready to network.
Oh my God. And that's for like the important people of the convention.
Yeah, that's like a pretty intimate event that's meant, from what I could see, like meant for networking.
Yeah.
I mean, we've attended stuff like that before. It's fucking great. You get to collaborate with so many other people in your field. It's a pretty key component of like participating in these events is the networking. The panel discussions that were scheduled at Once Upon a Con were a big centerpiece of the event's marketing, but they ultimately became a primary example of the convention's organizational faults. The convention was advertised as a premier destination for fantasy fans and promised 150 hours of exciting panels and workshops. That is a lot to coordinate, and they really shit the bed. The panel schedule was severely compromised by lack of staff and logistical support. A lot of this as, again, a direct result of staff members and invited panel speakers being suddenly forced to pay for their own hotel rooms out of pocket, which they rightly refused as this was supposed to be their compensation, and so they left. Scrambling to fill these gaps that the event organizers created, the remaining panels suffered from constant rescheduling, which caused significant confusion for not only the panelists and authors who were like suddenly had no clue when, where, or even if they were still speaking.
Oh my God. Or how many times.
Yep.
Like going back to that other example, like
Yep.
twice in a row. I'm not doing that.
No, my flight leaves. And then attendees who had paid to access those panels were like, well, these aren't the right people. They show up for the panel that was advertised at the specific time. It's now not there because it's been moved to a smaller room and with different panel, attendees. Like, it's just fucking, I'd be so pissed.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be so pissed if like point after point after point and it's a 4-day event. If this is happening by like day 2, I'd leave.
Oh, I am out of there.
I'd leave. I'd
fully out of there.
I would file formal complaints for a full refund on all of my expenses, including my travel costs. I would file so many reports about people organizing this with like the Better Business Bureau. I would dispute charges to my credit card directly with my credit card company because I did not receive the product that I purchased. I'd be fucking pissed. I'd be so pissed. I'd be Karening about this shit.
Mm-hmm.
For the creators and presenters, again, who did stay throughout the weekend and some who like left earlier, many found themselves in like their kind of like the podcast row situation in their table and booth setup areas, separated by an entire room by like partners that they had signed up with, co-authors. Like there is strategy on the layout of a room like that, and there are people who were, signed up to be at booths together and like co-hosting booths together, and then they show up and it's like half of your team is on this side of the room.
If you and I are on the other half of an auditorium. No.
Precisely.
We'd make a scene because we'd be screaming at each other the whole time.
I'd pull out my 2 retractable emergency bullhorns that I carry around at all times. I don't have those. I don't know if they exist.
Retractable bullhorns.
Fits right in your pocket. So that's bullshit. More vendors also lacked basic necessities like power strips or outlets at their tables until late in the weekend. After the con had already started. It's like 2 days in, they still don't have a power strip to plug. And they're all trying to sell their books.
So basic. Oh,
so it's like they're plugging in their, like Stripe POS system, their Square Reader, whatever, trying to sell their fucking books. And they can't even plug into anything at their table.
Oh my God. I feel so bad for these people.
Oh, I know, girl.
Oh no.
And that further complicates their ability to participate effectively and like make any money in an event that they essentially paid to go to. They're not getting paid to be there. Mm-hmm. They're getting allegedly free lodging, but most of them didn't.
Yeah. Exposure.
The only way they can make this work is if they have a compelling booth and they can sell a lot of their books and merchandise. That's it. And then they're not even being provided with electricity to their booth.
That's nuts.
Perhaps the most bizarre failure, however, was the doubloon system. As in like a gold doubloon.
A doubloon?
A doubloon.
Oh, man.
VIP badge holders were given gold plastic coins to trade for books from authors. Authors were told they would be reimbursed later, but there was no formal system to track prices or verify sales beyond like a Google spreadsheet.
Oh, no.
One author noted there was no timeline for reimbursement for the doubloons and no way to opt out of the system, leaving vendors essentially working on an honor system with the organizers as they handed out what would essentially be free books to their attendees.
Oh my God.
And like to attendees, they're not free because they bought the VIP passes to access the doubloons with the expectation that the price they're paying goes to help compensate for reimbursement.
The money was going to the authors.
To their favorite creators. And they didn't know that it, in fact, was not working out like that. So here is what that vendor who like wrote a blog without putting their name on it about their experience there had to say about the goddamn doubloons.
The
I can't with the fucking with the goddamn doubloons. I can't. When I got to doubloons, I fucking lost it. I was in the bathtub. I'm running on like no sleep. You could see I look like I was punched in the face from the bags under my fucking eyes. And I read about the doubloon system and I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding. And that was around the time I texted you and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be ready at 2. It's not going to happen.
I just came across the doubloons. I need an extra 30 minutes.
There have been doubloons have entered the chat. I need more time.
We've progressed beyond the doubloons. I need a time allowance.
I'm gonna cry about the doubloons. I hate these fucking doubloons so much. Oh my god, these fucking doubloons. Okay, I got this. Okay, this is what they had to say.
Who I bet hates the doubloons more than you? All of the authors at that fucking convention.
Including this one who's about to talk about them. I wanted them to have a platform to speak without, doxing them. They say in their blog, quote, the whole doubloon system was a massive red flag from the start. For context, VIP badge holders were given 2 plastic coins that they could use to trade for any book in the vendor hall. Authors then hand in the coin to con operators, con ops, and are reimbursed for the cost of the book later. The only information we were given about this pre-con, so before the convention. Pre-con.
Gross.
I can't. Was a small 2-sentence paragraph buried in a very large email sent maybe 2 weeks before the event itself. We were not given an option to opt in or opt out of this transaction system. No timeline was given on when reimbursements would happen. No set prices or ranges were put in place where it's like, okay, these only apply to books that are at, under $10 or whatever. None of that. And it was, again, another instance of the honor system because they had no way of verifying our book prices and we had no way of proving that there was compensation owed beyond giving them contact info in a spreadsheet that they then had to fulfill whenever they decide to fulfill it. So it's like,
and who's to say they weren't counterfeit doubloons?
I mean, I think this was a disaster even if every single doubloon was legitimate.
I mean, they were plastic in the first place.
Because here's the thing. Okay. So this booth area, like this vendor area, had hundreds of small authors that were selling as well as larger authors. So you've got potentially 6,000 attendees. Let's say 1,000 of those attendees bought VIP. So 1,000 people each have 2 doubloons. That's 2,000 doubloons. They go into this area. All the doubloons look the same. There's no system. There's no tracking system. There's no specified way other than tell us what the books cost and how many doubloons you collected and we'll just reimburse you. And so these fucking doubloons are flying all over the goddamn room and these poor bastard authors are trying to keep track of their sales. Then they're like, oh shit, the doubloons.
Yeah.
So they're comping. They still have to track for their inventory. I sold this book, but it's actually under the doubloon system. So it's comped 100% in my sales side. And then they have to self-account for that, submit that. But the submission form is just, here's a spreadsheet, put your name, your email, the price, the cost we owe you, and like how many doubloons you collected.
Jesus Christ.
And we're not going to tell you when we're going to reimburse you.
No.
Bye. I'd be fucking losing.
We got it figured out. Don't worry about it.
I'd be assuming I would never see that money.
Oh my God.
And
then
you
I've don't know
out,
about the doubloons till the morning of.
Like 2 weeks before, basically. A couple weeks before.
Till someone hands you a doubloon and says, 1 book, please.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck?
And then say you're an author that has an array of books. Say you brought some special edition items.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that says like, oh no, I'm going to get that like $50 signed special edition book. Because they didn't collaborate with the vendors so that they would have autonomy over how they wanted to participate in the doubloon system. It's just a fucking doubloon free-for-all. Are you fucking kidding me with these doubloons?
It's a doubloon catastrophe.
This is a doubloastrophe. I can't.
A doubloon buffoonery.
Yep. She said, or they. I actually don't know if this writer is female. I've seen so many photos and reports not photos, but like TikToks and reports from this con, and so many people were female that I'm just applying a gender, but I shouldn't be doing that. They go on to say, I had only vague recollections of this system when it was brought to my attention on Friday, the first day of the con. My author cohort had no idea what it was at all. If we had been informed properly, if there had been rules in place, consent acquired, and limitations/specific books available for purchase via this barter system process, we may have been more on board with the concept. But as it was, it's a pretty stupid idea, and the lack of consent really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Even if this system had been executed flawlessly, which it wasn't, they put in parentheses, I would never be okay with the convention deciding they have the right to sell my work for a plastic coin without guaranteeing my compensation plus choice of offerings beforehand. Goddamn right. I hope to God they go through with actually compensating authors who gave away their work as part of this stupid system, but I don't know if I should bother holding my breath. I was like, damn! You're right, though.
They're totally right.
Even one of the simplest events, a fantasy-themed scavenger hunt where attendees look for dragon eggs to receive prizes, failed because the physical dragon eggs that attendees were supposed to find were not placed.
Oh, that's a hard scavenger hunt.
None of them were placed on time. Some of them, I guess, weren't placed at all. And the, quote, point system used to crown a winner was never explicitly shared or explained with to the participants.
Oh my God.
So it's like, go collect these and you'll win a prize. It's like, okay, where? How many of them are there?
They're all in the organizer's trunk in the parking lot.
Like, where are these goddamn dragon eggs? Probably somewhere with the reimbursement for my doubloons.
Probably in some Amazon warehouse somewhere still.
Who knows?
That was never thought out enough to order the fucking eggs in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And they had also promised a Starfall masquerade, a lush recreation of the autumn court from the series ACOTAR. This event turned out to be just another kind of like bear ballroom a la the Million Lives book event that I put photos of. So somebody said, one attendee described it as, quote, a high school prom without decorations. And now I want to be clear. I am unsure whether this event happened at Once Upon a Con. Some of the stuff about Once Upon a Con said that it did, but then again, I can't fucking find. You'd think there'd be pictures of this, especially because this was supposed to be the balm, the healing balm for the egregious Million Lives book convention.
Yeah.
So I don't know if people like who are writing about this online who weren't actively part of the community, and then I need to be a fucking investigative journalist and like actually track down people who were there and talk to them directly, but I don't have fucking time for that, and I'm not an investigative journalist. So I have a feeling that some of this is mixed up, that like some of the discourse that's discussed in like the one article that I could find about this convention might have actually been about what happened at the Million Lives book event. But what I found was that they had tried to set up a similar ball, and it was just another like empty area, empty ballroom with like nothing. One described it as a high school prom without decorations. So that's where I was like looking for video from this, and I kept finding that viral TikTok stuff about the Million Lives book event, and there are photos of that I put on the drive. And again, I can't for the life of me find photos from this event, so I'm wondering if there is some confusion, because this event was a disaster without it even needing to have a ball that was also terrible. So I could see writers or bloggers or people that actually found this to be newsworthy, which apparently it was not mainstream newsworthy.
I guess not.
Yeah, conflating them and getting information incorrectly. And I am just a parrot of what I'm reading here. So I just wanted to clear up that, like, if you're coming to call me out for that, I hear you. I don't fucking know if that was a different thing.
Okay.
But allegedly it also happened there. So here is another excerpt from the vendor that I referenced earlier. Okay, yeah. So there was a Starfall masquerade according to this person. I can't account for why we don't have pictures from it. The writer goes on to say, a little later on, we heard the masquerade had started late, had no decorations, that things were just not at all what they had been advertised online to be. And again, they had promised, quote, a lush recreation of the autumn court from the series ACOTAR. And you know The book girlies are
They know what
feral.
that's supposed to feel like.
They're feral for that ACOTAR shit. Like,
oh, yeah.
and don't blame them. I'm girl. Go listen to Passages. I'm with you on that. So it's like they know the bar is high when you're advertising an event like that. Then to walk in and have it just be like, yikes. Not at all what they advertise. They said it was around that point that the whispers of this being another A Million Lives really started to gain traction. Given Friday's foot traffic and sales were good the first day of the convention, we thought the comparison was premature. But when Saturday's foot traffic was abysmal and Sunday's practically non-existent, the more the remaining attendees began to talk to us about their experiences and relay their worries and how they were concerned for our well-being and treatment as vendors. It was probably Saturday that we realized we were really, really in it. But by that point, I'd say half of the attendees had cut their losses and left the event entirely.
Oh, yeah, I'd be out of there.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks for the vendors.
It sucks for everybody. But like, especially, I just really feel for the vendors because, you know, we've been there, babes.
Yeah. Do the organizers ever answer to any of this?
We'll get to it. Kind of.
Oh, great.
This pathetic excuse for a ball kept being referred to as the ball pit disaster. So I had to see what that was all about. I was like, what is this? Said ball pit disaster took place at DashCon in 2014 in Schaumburg, Illinois. From Wikipedia, quote, the inaugural convention quickly became infamous for allegations of mismanagement and corruption among organizers, an alleged abrupt demand by the hotel for an upfront payment of cash for use of its facilities, and celebrity guests being forced to drop out of the convention after they were informed by the hotel that they would be responsible for paying for their rooms. Sound familiar?
Yeah. What's DashCon?
DashCon in particular is a fan convention, which according to Wikipedia is catering primarily to users of the blogging platform Tumblr, where like dash is like the line dashes, with a particular emphasis on Tumblr fandoms. And you know those fandoms are rabid. So this was from July of 2014. It was supposed to be held over the weekend of July 11th at the Renaissance Schaumburg Convention Center Hotel in Schaumburg, Illinois. But again, a total disaster. So when like these artists and presenters were showing up to DashCon and shit was super chaotic, you guys, one of the features was a small ball pit, an inflatable ball pit in one of the empty ballroom halls, which became a meme because organizers offered attendees an, quote, extra hour in the ball pit along with raffle and concert tickets, allegedly, as reimbursement for a canceled panel.
What?
Have you looked at the ball pit yet?
No,
You
should I?
have to go look at the ball pit. You're not going to believe it. It's on a
Put it in a smaller room.
It's on a concrete floor. There's some banquet tables set up about 16 nautical miles away from it. It looks like a ghost of like a daycare. It's scary. And it has, I don't know.
It's like lumpy and not fully inflated.
It looks like it might have 200 balls in it. Like, girl, who are you trying to fool? That ball pit shook me to my very core. It's
gotta be in a smaller room. Who?
It's the most pitiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I like it. It causes me like trauma to look at that picture.
And it's also like really dark in there.
The lighting is awful, awful. So
that's so gross.
That photo from that 2014 DashCon became a meme, and then people were applying this like ball pit meme to the Once Upon a Con situation. So in the aftermath of the Once Upon a Con failure, one organizer, Grace Willows, issued an apology acknowledging the failures, but faced criticism for deflecting blame and poor planning, like off of herself and onto other people and things. I did put a part of the statement that they made that's on their Instagram. It says, "Hi, everyone. We want to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude for the incredible dedication each of you demonstrated this past weekend. Despite the challenges we faced, your unwavering commitment to excellence shone through in everything you did. Your ability to come together as a team, support each other, and push through adversity exemplifies the true spirit of our organization. Thank you for your hard work, resilience, and for embodying the values we stand for. Together, we overcome obstacles and achieve great things that made magic happen for so many. We faced a lot of issues this weekend, and we would like to touch on those as well as what we're doing on the leadership side as far as corrective actions.
Someone hired a crisis PR manager.
100%. 100%. They put together a new board of directors, promise compensation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like the basic shit that all of these fuck ups all often promise. Mm-hmm. But even after this, there's the comment section, let's just say, was not kind. And there were attendees and authors alike labeling the leadership as grifters, essentially. We spent a lot of money to come here, and you clearly didn't allocate those funds to anything that a convention actually fucking needs, except maybe getting a block of rooms at a big convention center. And where is the rest of what you charged everybody? And then they didn't get what they fucking were promised.
Yeah, really.
The convention chair, who I could only see listed as Elena, later explicitly took responsibility for these, quote, major operations issues. She admitted that her, quote, refusal to give up control and a significant lack of proper communication and planning were the direct causes of the chaos that overshadowed the event. She acknowledged that these management failures underdelivered on the experience attendees had paid for. So, like I said, I'm seeing that the convention plans to rebrand, have their new board of directors. They're claiming that we've gotten rid of everybody who's a problem. They've either resigned or we've decided not to work with them moving forward. We're going to come back better than ever in 2026.
Okay.
Can't wait to see how that plays out. But many in the community remain skeptical that trust can even be rebuilt after such a massive failure at every fucking level, according to them, their own words. And like I said, I will include that the first day and into the second day of the event, many vendors did report that they got pretty great sales and that they then dwindled considerably by day 2 and 3 as attendees and vendors alike left early because of the failure to deliver on so many promises that these organizers had made to them. So being, we want to support new conventions. I think that is great, but being very clear about what the expectations are. And there is something to be said for leaning toward participating in events that do have a little bit of experience under their belts, because this shit is hard. You can't just decide you want to do a convention.
It's so hard, yeah.
And
it's like deciding to open a restaurant.
People do not know what it actually takes. And that's very clear with how this played out. And we've seen it before. We'll probably see it again, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
God, that's wild.
That's my case.
That was a good one.
Can you believe?
Tell me if you find any more about it. It's so odd that it's seemingly scrubbed.
I know. It's really fucking weird.
But I'm going to go look at that Million Lives stuff.
Yeah, enjoy. I linked to some of the TikToks in my sources so you can check them out.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I just looked at one of your sources, the URLs. When a con is crap once upon a con.
Yep. Dying. These poor folks.
That poor ball pit.
Mm-hmm.
An extra hour. You're allowed to play for 1 hour because we fucked you over on these 6 things.
Dude, right?
And won't reimburse you with actual money.
No.
Damn. Watch out. Watch out, people. It's wild out there.
For real. For real. Be careful.
Thank you, Aspen, for such a fun fan pick.
Yeah, this was wild and weirdly became one of the hardest segments that I've had to write before because
I know.
So what the fuck?
Well, what the fuck? They operate in great secrecy.
They do, I guess, as clandestine fantasy romance book conventions.
Clandesticon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. And again, if you're interested in hearing this and all of our episodes ad-free, come join us on Uncorked. Join our book club.
Yeah, come get it, girl.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Danielle Sylvan. Music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell. Editing by Jonathan Camp. Our production manager is Andrea Gardner. For photos, sources, and other resources, head to wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can follow us on all the socials at Wine and Crime Pod. If you'd like to show your support and get access to all sorts of wine-fueled bonus content, check out our premium channel at wineandcrimepodcast.com/uncorked. Cheers!